Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to a sports stuff video. Today we'll be talking about the Cleveland Browns in the 2023 season. If you guys do enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. As you can tell, my voice is gone. It is completely gone. It's better than it was when I first got home. But yesterday, me and my brother made the 4-hour trip out to Cleveland. Went to the game, sat in the nosebleeds because honestly, we like the nosebleeds a little more. You actually see the entire field. Watched the game, drove right back home. But let's just say it got a little loud. It got a little loud by me. Going to that game knocked off a bucket list item of mine. In 2020, when Baker Mayfield rushed for that first down, and he was going on the sideline, punched the air with his arm. No one was in the stands, obviously. There was very limited amount of people in the stands. I believe it was only first responders at that point were in the stands. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I was not in the stands for that game. But it was always on my bucket list to see the Cleveland Browns go to the playoffs in person. And I was able to achieve that dream yesterday. Next goal is to go to a home playoff game. And then, obviously, to go to the Super Bowl when the Browns go to the Super Bowl. Or just go to a Super Bowl in general, but I want to see the Browns in the Super Bowl. One of those dreams are very achievable. The Browns still have a chance not only at the division, but at the 1 seed for home playoffs throughout the entire thing. But I just don't think the Ravens are going to drop 2 in a row. But with this iteration of the Browns, I do 100% believe I will be able to see in person a home playoff game with the Browns. Now, when I say this was the most unlikely season for us to go to the playoffs, I mean that. We not only lost Jack Conklin in week 1, which to not my surprise, he's been injury prone outside of the 1 year in 2020. Then we lose Nick Chubb, which still hurts. Then we lose Deshaun Watson for a couple of weeks. And in that process, Juan Thornhill still hurts. Denzel Ward goes out for a couple of games. We eventually lose Anthony Walker for multiple weeks. We then lose Rodney McLeod for the season. Grant Delpit for the season. Anthony Walker, again, got injured for multiple weeks. Then we lose Ogbo Okoronkwo for the season, which he might be coming back. Apparently, he got a second look at his leg from another doctor, and there are saying that there is a chance he could come back for the playoffs. So I think that could happen. I think he'll want it to happen. That's why I think it's going to happen, is that he's going to want to play. And on offense, we're on to literally Jerron Christian, who he signed off the street, and James Hudson not playing left tackle, playing right tackle. The only player that has played every single game this year is David Njoku. Because Elijah Moore is going to miss next week with his concussion. David Njoku and Wyatt Teller, I believe, will be the only players on offense to play to start and finish every game. Because I know Wyatt Teller might have gone out for a game, but I think he has started and finished every single game, and so has David Njoku. On defense, I think Martin Emerson, JOK, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Myles Garrett are the only players that have played every game. Again, start and finished every game. Greg Newsome was hurt for a week or two. Denzel Ward was out for a week or two. Juan Thornhill. Grant Delpit's currently out. JOK, I believe, has been healthy all year, but AWOC's been hurt. Sione Takitaki was out for a game or two. I believe he was out for the Denver game. On defensive line, Shelby Harris, this hasn't started every game. He's been like that rotational guy. Zadarius Smith, I believe he's played every game, but it might have been one game he was out. And I believe Myles Garrett has been active for every game. Because he had some accident this year, and we thought he was going to be out, but he played. The fact that we are 11-5 in the playoffs in Week 17, with a game still to go, we are guaranteed the 5 seed. Guaranteed it. And we can go as high as the 1 seed. Speaks not only to Kevin Stefanski, who I have been very critical, but to Jim Schwartz, Alex Van Pelt, and Andrew Berry. Those 4 guys have not only saved the Cleveland Browns' future, but they've saved their jobs forever. Kevin, you went to the playoffs 2 times in 4 years. I can't take that away from you. In the beginning of the season, I did not like your play calling, but what I think is finally happening is that for the first time with the Browns in Kevin Stefanski's career, he has a quarterback who's not fighting the system, right? Like Deshaun Watson came from the Bill O'Brien, who came from Andy Reid and the Holmgren coaching tree, where it is a spread offense, air raid offense, pass heavy. Let's say pass heavy. It is quarterback is the superhero, put on the Superman cape. Run game is seconds. While Kevin Stefanski comes from the Brad Childress, Gary Kubiak scheme system of the West Coast offense, run first, play action pass. And that's where Joe Flacco came from as well. Joe Flacco, all those years in Baltimore, his offensive coordinators came from the West Coast system. So Deshaun, Baker, and definitely Baker in college was an air raid offense. I'm trying to think. Jacoby, I guess, was a back. I'm talking about starters. Deshaun, Baker, they both were not that system. That's not what they did. Jacoby was a backup. He played pretty solid in the offense. Not the best scheme fit, but he played solid. DTR played that in college. I think he has a chance he could be a really good backup. PJ Walker is a fourth string quarterback. Doesn't matter if he comes from that scheme anyway. But this is the first time that Kevin has had a veteran starter play in this offense correctly. Instead of, hey, Deshaun, you have your offense, I have my offense, let's meet in the middle. It is now Kevin's offense that Joe Flacco is running. Not a Joe Flacco / Stefanski offense. It is a Kevin Stefanski offense. And it's clicking. It's clicking. I mean, genuinely, it is the best ball I've seen Joe Flacco play since the 2012 playoff run. 2013 through 2018, he was mid. He was not playing this good. Because if he was, they would have won another Super Bowl. But with seeing a coach call the right plays for the type of quarterback he has, the fact that Joe Flacco is 39 years old and throwing 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards a game, is unforeseen. It's unforeseen. I believe, I wanted to look this up before, but I forgot to. I believe Tom Brady, let's see. Tom Brady. I want to see Tom Brady's averages for his career, for his, his later half of his career. Because I don't believe Brady averaged 300 yards and 3 touchdowns post 38 years old. Let's see. So Brady. So maybe that Super Bowl year, Brady threw 43 touchdowns. What is 43 divided by 17? 43 divided by 17. So Brady averaged 2.5 touchdowns the year they won the Super Bowl. Because he started 17 games. So as you can see, 43 divided by 17, 2.5. Joe Flacco. Oh, shoot, I didn't look at his yards. My fault. His yards, 53.16. So 53.16 divided by 17. Joe Flacco's also averaging more yards. Joe's averaging 325. So Joe's averaging 3 touchdowns a game. Joe Flacco's on pace for 51 touchdowns in his 17-game season. And 325 times 17. And 5,500 yards. We've never seen this production out of Joe Flacco. And this is the perfect type of quarterback that Kevin Stefanski needs. Now, as someone, again, who was very critical of Kevin Stefanski, I would like to apologize. Straight up, look into the camera. Kevin, I'm sorry. There is a video I posted in September or October where I'm calling for your firing. I want you gone. I need you gone. You're awful. Yada, yada, yada. I would like to apologize. And I would like to say, no matter what, from here on out, I will never doubt Kevin Stefanski. Never will. Are there times where I don't like the play call? Yes. But what I've noticed is that he always has a reason. For example, in this game that we just played last night, we were we just kicked the ball. No, I think it was a punt, right? We had just punted the ball, and Xavier Gipson fumbles the ball, and Mike Ford retrieves the ball at like the 6-yard line. Kevin doesn't run the ball at all. He goes 3 straight passes, which I didn't agree with. I did not agree with, but I understand Joe Flacco is balling out. Let Joe cook. I understand, but 7 yards to the end zone, hand it off to Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford at least once each. You know what I mean? And then throw on 3rd down. Or run on 1st down, throw on 2nd, run on 3rd. But everyone in the stadium was like, oh, kick a field goal. At least everyone in my section was like, kick a field goal. Just kick a field goal, go up 3 points. No, I said out loud, he's got to go for this. Like, you're trying to go to the playoffs. Don't let your foot off the gas. You're trying to make the playoffs. If you win this game, we go to the playoffs. Go. Like, genuinely, don't stop trying to score. And Kevin kept his offense out. They threw a slant ball to Cedric Tillman. Little high for Cedric Tillman. He is a rookie, right? He's a rookie. Has not gotten used to NFL thrown balls, I'll say. Where, you have leverage up high. You're playing against a smaller corner. Jump and, like, extend to get that ball caught. He just goes right above his head, reaches for it, goes over his head. And honestly, they turn the ball over. But Jets don't go they don't score that. I don't think they scored that drive. They don't go 94 yards for a touchdown. I understand that play call. I understand it. I don't understand the play calls beforehand of throwing 3 times in a row. But I understand that 4th down play call. And the Elijah Moore touchdown was beautiful. He used David Njoku to shadow Elijah Moore's route until the last second. Because it looked like Elijah Moore was just going to go was going to do a post route, and David Njoku was going to do an out route. Because then the safety would have been, shoot, do I go to Elijah Moore post route or cover David Njoku who's going off in the out route? Well, Elijah Moore stutters, cuts back inside, and David Njoku does do an out route, but then he goes it's kind of instead of a sluggo route where it's like a slant and go, or it's like a slant and go, he kind of more ran of a boom, boom, or boom, boom, boom. Like, he went across and it went down, so Elijah Moore's coverage, he could clearly see the ball, reached for it, boom, in the breadbasket. Great play call. Great play call. Great moment for the play call as well, because Njoku was feasting all game, and they used that minuscule second of, oh shoot, is it Njoku or Moore I need to cover to get Moore wide open. Like, that was probably Moore's easiest catch of the game. He's got to be coach of the year. 4 quarterbacks, all of them won at least one game. I believe all of them won multiple games, but I know at least one. I think a DTR might have been 1-2, but I think he was 2-2. Whatever. Or 2-1. I thought he had 2 wins, but I know he has 1. Every quarterback has a win this year. We're 11-5, clinched the playoffs, and we're on a roll. 5 weeks in a row, Joe Flacco over 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Coach of the year. Absolutely coach of the year. For Jim Schwartz, assistant coach of the year should be a given. I mean, this is one of the worst defenses in the league last year into one of the best defenses of the last 20 years. Jim Schwartz has to win assistant coach of the year. What he's done with Myles Garrett is A+. What he's done with the secondary is A+. Ronnie Hickman and D'Anthony Bell, the fact that they're both undrafted rookie and second-year player, and they're playing this good, yeah, assistant coach of the year. And Myles Garrett, defensive player of the year. Then AVP, Alex Van Pelt, his development of Jerome Ford. Now, is that more Stump Mitchell? I do think it is more Stump Mitchell. But, I mean, AVP and Kevin are playing without Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore goes down. David Njoku, you're featuring more in the offense because Joe Flacco loves his tight ends. Like, what they've been able to do together has been awesome. Him and Kevin. I got to give him his flowers. And Andrew Berry. I mean, 26.12% of the cap is on IR. Your cornerstone offensive pieces are on IR outside of Amari Cooper. On defense, every single level has been hit with the IR. I mean, at least on offense, no wide receivers are on IR, right? There's not a single wide receiver who's on the injury reserve, right? Which is good. Good. No one's on IR. But running back got hit. Offensive line's been battered. Quarterback's been battered. Defense, every single piece of the defense has been hit with IR. It's amazing to see what Andrew Berry has done. He might be the best drafting GM of day 3 in the last 5 years. I mean, just think about it, man. Think about it. Like, Martin Emerson, yes, he was a day 2 pick, but he was a round 3 day 2 pick, not a round 2. He was a round 3 pick. Alex Wright has on a 3-game sack streak. DeJuan Jones, Cedric Tillman, Jerome Ford, I already said DeJuan Jones, James Hudson, Nick Harris. I'm looking up because I'm trying to think. Who else? Safety. Obviously undrafted guys. Ronnie Hickman, D'Anthony Bell. Corner, Cam Mitchell as well. Cam Mitchell looks really good. Linebacker has been a little bit of an issue. But Mohamed Diabate looks really solid in special teams and okay as a run defender. Then defensive line, I mean, Siaki Ika isn't really getting a chance to really play all that much. He's a run defending D tackle. But Shelby Harris and Dalvin Tomlinson are just so good. But like even the contracts, Mo Hurst was a stud before he got hurt. Ogbo Okoronkwo was a stud. Trades, you got Amari Cooper and Zadarius Smith for like 2 fifth-round picks. He's got to win Executive of the Year. He's got to. I mean, with a quarter of your cap on IR and your team is still 11-5 because of your drafting and your cheap free agent deals, he's got to win Executive of the Year. But I'm very excited about what this Browns team can do. Because as a lot of fans are saying, and as one of my favorite YouTubers who covers the Browns exclusively, Quincy Carrier, says, pre-2018 Browns and post-2018 Browns are 2 different franchises. Pre-2018 Browns are one of the worst teams in NFL history. Franchises are dead. Like, the franchise is dead. The city is dead. Football is dead. But in 2018, you got to give John Dorsey his flowers. He drafted Baker. He drafted Nick Chubb. He drafted Denzel Ward. And the year before, he drafted Myles Garrett. He drafted David Njoku. That's the cornerstone pieces. I mean, seriously, since 2017, 2018, that year or two, after the 0-16 season, David Njoku, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb. Wait, David Njoku, Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. Yeah, that's our 4 cornerstone pieces of the team that were drafted by this team. That was John Dorsey. Since 2018, it's been a different team. Now, Jarvis Landry was a big part of that. That trade was an amazing trade. He helped change the culture. Hopefully we sign him for this playoff run, for this Super Bowl run we're about to go on. Again, I say that obviously as hopeful. I'm not actually saying the Browns are going to the Super Bowl. That's our cornerstone pieces. Everyone else is just sprinkles on the cake. But if you boil our roster down to the cornerstone pieces that for the next 5 years we're gonna look back and say, oh yeah, that was the team. David Njoku, Nick Chubb, Joel Bitonio. I'm talking about like younger guys. Joel Bitonio is obviously a cornerstone piece, right? Like he's here until he retires. On defense, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. All of them drafted by John Dorsey. All of them. Now John Dorsey did benefit from the years and years of rebuilds and trades, like the Brock Osweiler trade. We got a first-round pick for free, which turned into Denzel Ward, I believe. No, I think it turned into David Njoku. That Brock Osweiler trade. I'm trying to remember, what was the Denzel Ward? How did we get that first? I don't know. I don't really remember. But it's crazy. Like, and I know I'm trying not to make this channel a Browns-only channel, but it's exciting. It's exciting to see my team be good. I'm very excited to witness the full circle moments of Baker Mayfield gets drafted in 2018, changes this franchise with all the guys that were there, to now we're gonna be a perennial playoff team. Like that's the foundation we're working on now. Playoffs 2 out of 4 years. How many teams can say that they broke the franchise's losing record 4 years ago and have now made the playoffs like how we have. I mean, we would have made the playoffs last year if the Jets game doesn't go the way it does, if that Jacoby game goes the way that it should have gone. Like, if we had this defense last year, Jacoby is playing just as good as Joe Flacco. Not like his yards and touchdowns, but the wins. Like, we would have probably only lost 1 or 2 games with Jacoby Brissett last year if we had this defense. And this will be my final point for today's video. If Joe Flacco does hang it up or at least leaves the Browns in the offseason, if Jacoby Brissett is available, the Browns need to go after him. Deshaun, we've now seen, is injury prone. He had 2 major shoulder injuries in 1 season. And DTR is still a raw quarterback. I would not bring back PJ Walker unless he's going to be the practice squad guy. But I think he's earned to be a backup somewhere. Like, he's 2-2 or 2-1 as a starter this year. Like, he's above 500 as a starter. He's going to be a backup somewhere as a primary number 2 quarterback. If you can get Jacoby to be your primary backup quarterback and then DTR another year of development as that quarterback 3 who only starts if everyone else goes down, I would be comfortable with that. Because I think we need a veteran option. And I think Jacoby wants to come back. From what they were talking about at the trade deadline, is that Jacoby's agents and the Browns were all set on a deal. The issue is that the Commanders wanted a 3rd-round pick for Jacoby Brissett, and no one was paying that. Like, they were only saying that to the Browns because of what was going on. And while I love Jacoby Brissett, I'm happy we didn't trade a 3rd-round pick for him because we've seen the 3rd-round picks under Andrew Berry turn into Martin Emerson, turn into Siaki Ika, Cedric Tillman. Who else was a 3rd-round pick by him? Jerome Ford was a 4th-round pick, I believe. Who else was a 3rd-round pick by Andrew Berry? Oh, and Alex Wright. That's who it is. And Alex Wright. Again, I love it. I love Andrew Berry, man. But like Jacoby Brissett in free agency, if we have the $10 million, $8 million it's gonna take to get Jacoby on this Browns roster, we gotta do it. We gotta bring him back. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit notification bell to be notified when I post next. Honestly, I got a couple ideas what I want to do. I'm not going to announce anything yet. I'm going to work on them before I actually announce them. But again, if you guys enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.